Okay, so what we had at the end of the class was the following. We've now implemented our virtual world and we have our sprites running around in it, and we can move the camera with the keyboard, and we have a little mini-map over here with nothing on it yet. And our mini-map is drawn to a scale that we specified with a little variable called ratio. And we have a virtual world width and a virtual world height. We have the keyboard section where we move the camera depending on what key was pressed. And here we have the section where we draw our minimap to the screen. So the next thing we had to do was to add the code that shows all our sprites on the minimap itself. And it looks like this. We're reusing the rect variable over here. And the rect comes from over here. It's just a texture 2D that we made for the minimap. We're going to reuse it now to draw our sprites on the minimap. And we're saying this is now a new texture, and this is the width of our sprite, and this is the height of our sprite, and we're just dividing both of those by the ratio. This is to give our texture its size. Then we're reusing the data variable again. Remember, the data is an array of color points. And we're saying this is a new color, 79. Again, the width of our sprite divided by the ratio multiplied by the height of our sprite divided by the ratio again. So this gives us our little array of color points that matches up to the size of our sprite, or the frame of our sprite. Then we have a for loop again. That loops for as long as, or however many elements there are inside of data, and then we need to assign a color to each one of those points, and I'm just using red at the moment. Then we set that color to our texture using that line, rect.setData, and we give it the color array. Then we declare a new vector2 sprite pos. This is going to store the position of our units before we display them on the minimap. Then we have another loop. This loop is to loop through our sprites. And then we say sprite pos is equal to new vector2, and then we have this. Remember, k is just the name of our sprite objects. So ki.position.x, so the x component of its position, we divide that by the ratio. And we do the same thing for its y position, the y component of its position. To divide that by the ratio as well. So what we're doing there is we're going to show the position of our unit inside the minimap. So its position in the virtual world is just position.x and position.y. Its position on the minimap is its position x divided by the ratio and its position y divided by the ratio. And then we just draw it to screen. So we say sprite-batch.draw the rectangle at the position. Now this part you have to remember, you can't just now draw it to sprite pos. You also have to factor in where the minimap's origin is. The origin is where the minimap starts, and that location is here at coor, the coor variable, which starts at windows.clientBounce.0 for the x, and then for the y, window.clientBounce.height minus the height of our virtual world divided by the ratio. So we need to add that to the sprite position as well, so that our sprites are drawn on the minimap itself and not just in the top left corner somewhere. So let's see what this looks like. So there we have our game, and now you can see these little red dots there in the minimap. You can make them bigger if you want to make them more visible, but just for now this is okay. So we can now see that our sprites are moving through the world, and we can see where they are in the virtual world by using the minimap. So let's see what would happen if we did not add the coordinates over there to sprite pos, or the origin of the minimap. See, where are our little red dots now? They're over there in the top left corner, exactly where we don't want them to be. We want them to be on the minimaps, and we just start drawing them from the minimap's origin plus our sprite position. Okay, the next thing we want to test is to see if our units actually now bounce off the edges of the virtual world or not. Remember, we've changed inside the sprite class. We're now using the virtual world's width and the virtual world's height for the part where we invert the x and y speed of our objects. So to test this out, we're just going to increase the speed of our objects. We're going to multiply the speed by, let's say, 4. And we're going to make our virtual world a little bit smaller, just so that we don't have to wait forever to see if it works. So I'm going to make that 5000 and run it. And you'll see they move a lot faster now. Okay, we can watch them on the minimap. So hopefully when they reach the edges of the minimap, they will then bounce off and come back to us. And looks like it's working. And one is coming back. There it goes. Okay, so that's working well.